Now, O'Reilly is super mad that people have challenged his version of history, which lives in his head. Now, Mother Jones pointed out, David Corn, the lead writer on that story, that he never went to the Falkland Islands. He never covered that war. He covered a protest after the war was over in Argentina. And he was furious about that. He called him a gutter sniper, which is such a hilarious old school term. And he's a liar. It's none of it's true. Now, of course, all these revelations have come out. And all these other reporters came out from CBS and other channels and said, no, Mother Jones' description of what happened is accurate. What O'Reilly said is imaginary. It was less a war zone than an expense account zone, according to one of the other correspondents there, okay? Now, O'Reilly's furious about this, so what's he going to do? He's a bully, and you know, you've seen it, right? You were a kid, and you had a bully in school somewhere, and if you ever challenged him on something he said, he'd get even more mad. I remember we had this kid, John, back in, it was all the way in elementary school, and he used to say that his father was the head of the CIA, and his uncle was the head of the mob. And then he said that there was a helicopter that would come out of his house. It would land on his roof and then go inside the house and then somehow get back on the roof and take off. We're like, John, we live next to you. There's no helicopter in your roof. Okay, there's no helicopter inside your house. Now, nobody wanted to say that because he was a big kid and he'd punch you if you said that, right? Now, I called him out on it once. So you know what happened with John? Oh, man, he was furious. I mean, when I see Bill O'Reilly, I see that little bully kid again and goes, oh, how dare you, right? And I kicked his ass too. Anyway, we were kids. And I'm sure John's a good guy now, unlike Bill O'Reilly. So what's O'Reilly going to do? Well, he's going to do that on a dangerous level now that we're grown-ups. He said that he should be in the, quote, kill zone, where he deserves to be. He's going to put him in the kill zone. Again, remember, this is the guy who kept saying, Dr. Tiller, the baby killer, until somebody shot Dr. Tiller, who was an abortion provider. Scott Roeder went and killed him. O'Reilly kept saying, oh, well, you know, he's a baby killer, he's a baby killer. So I wouldn't go around saying kill zone, but he's not done. So then he's talking to a New York Times reporter, and according to the coverage here, during a phone conversation, he told a reporter for the New York Times that there would be repercussions if he felt any of the reporter's coverage was inappropriate. Who says that? What kind of maniac says that? Now, let me give you the quote. He said, I am coming after you with everything I have. You can take it as a threat. Now, again, remember, everything he has is an army of lunatics who view him. And one of those lunatics shot and killed somebody once after he kept calling him a killer. So I would take that threat pretty seriously. Look at this bully. I mean, he was never in a war. He never saw combat. He never saw any of that. He didn't even cover it as a reporter. He had to make it up. And when you challenge him and you say, hey, you know what? Your dad's not the head of the CIA, your uncle's not the head of the mob, and your helicopter doesn't come out of your house, and you didn't cover 4 wars with a pen or anything else. How dare you? I will threaten you. I'll put you in the kill zone. Classic bully behavior. And what does it mask? It masks insecurity and really a pathetic view of himself. The reason he has to make up all these stories is because internally he thinks, I'm not courageous, I'm not strong, I'm not any of these things I pretend to be on a nightly basis, so I got to puff myself up and try to make myself feel better. It's not so much that he's lying to all of us, which he is, but he's also lying to himself. When he looks at himself in the mirror, my guess is he puffs his chest up and goes, oh yeah, Bill, remember the wars you covered? He believes it in his crazy head. He's warped history in his mind to believe the bubble that he lives in. So, you know, I hate to break it to you, and I'm sure that you'll threaten me and whoever else says so, but Bill, your recollection is completely and utterly incorrect. You were never in those war zones. You were never in the Falklands. You were in Argentina, 1,000 miles away after the war was over. You went to El Salvador after the fighting was over. No one has any idea where you were in the Middle East or Northern Ireland. You were just not there. Okay, so you're not a hero. Not everybody's a hero. But you can't let it go, because in your mind, you've got to be a hero to make up for all your failings and to make up for how sad you feel inside about how pathetic you are. Is that clear?